A guidance counselor mistakenly sends out the wrong transcripts to Stanford University under the name of an overachieving high schooler.
This is Ryan.
And this is Ashley.
And this is
Ruining Our Childhood.
A weekly podcast where we remove our childhood goggles and put on our adult bifocals to rewatch and review our favorite movies from the past.
That's right. That's correct. And this week, we have special guests. Our first ever special people. My big brother, Brandon.
Hi.
He's an Aquarius, aren't you? Is that right?
I am an Aquarius.
Okay.
He likes long walks on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Brandy, my
Hello.
sister-in-law, also his wife.
Yes.
It's true.
You didn't know
True story.
how that worked. But some people don't know how that works. You may have heard me talk about him occasionally on the other
shows?
episodes.
I was going to say, you always will do I saw this movie with my brother Brandon.
I don't know if I say Brandon.
Oh,
No, that's the
you
first
say your
time that you've
brother.
said my name.
Oh, I say my brother.
Normally you're just like, my brother.
He likes his privacy.
I
Yes.
do.
Do you?
I do like my privacy.
Well, too bad, so sad, because now you're on my podcast.
And whenever we hear it, I'm like, Brandon, you're famous.
So, this week, if you couldn't tell, we're doing Orange County, the 2002 classic Orange County.
With Colin Hanks
Yes,
and Jack Black.
that's right? Right?
Yep.
Jack Black,
That is correct.
among other people. Hit us with some 2002 facts.
Okay. The movie was released on January 11th, 2002. It had a budget of $18 million and made $43.3 million. The big TV shows from 2002 were ER, American Idol, and Survivor. Popular songs for the week the movie came out. That's a goodie. How You Remind Me by Nickelback.
Oh, jeez.
Ugh. Other popular songs were Kelly Clarkson, A Moment Like This, Eminem, Lose Yourself,
Eminem.
Lose
S&M.
Yourself. And a couple popular movies were Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and Signs. Yeah,
It's pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
All the good ones.
So, what do you guys remember from this movie, Brandon and Brandy?
Remember, it was surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
Like, we go back and watch it, and there's hilarious parts that you completely forget about.
I want to say I remember people being funny that I didn't think were going to be funny in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I thought Jack Black. It's really my first time seeing Jack Black in like an acting role. Yeah, he was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if this might have been one of his first movies. Well, when did School of Rock come out?
The next year.
Oh, okay. So,
The
it's
one I
possible.
remember him from, which is one of the reasons I wanted to go see this, was High Fidelity.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was
Duh. How did
just
I not?
hilarious in
friend.
that, yeah. So then when this came out, I was like, oh, it's got the guy from High Fidelity.
First time I saw Jack Black was on X-Files. There was an episode of X-Files with him and Seth Green.
Oh, nice.
Seth Green had like some sort of like lightning powers.
Mm-hmm.
And
I thought vaguely sounds
he ends up
familiar.
Super
killing
old.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
And, like he runs an arcade or something, and he chases him outside, and then he gets tagged by lightning.
Nice.
For sure. I don't really remember this movie. I was in high school. You guys were just out of high school.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Like, everything's a vague thing from high school.
Did you see it in theaters?
Nah, I don't
No?
think so.
No. I definitely did see it in theaters.
Did you guys see it in theaters?
No, I think we.
I don't think so.
I think I watched it at home or something like that. Just
Okay.
DVD because I wasn't gonna go
Well,
see
once
that
I
movie because I
watched
didn't
it-
know anyone in it.
That's
It
true.
became, like, one of my favorites. Like, you have to rewatch it over and over.
I remember,
Yeah, but
I want to say MTV produced it or something, or did something with it, because I remember they promoted the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Which back then I watched a ton of MTV.
Well, and the soundtrack is pretty amazing.
yeah, that's what I do remember from it is really liking the soundtrack. So
Wasn't it
that'll
one
be
of
interesting.
Colin Hanks' first, like, big roles?
I would
too?
assume, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
I think
remember not knowing who he was until
No,
the movie came
uh-uh.
out, and I was like, oh my god, he looks just like his dad.
Yeah.
he was in a movie with Kirsten Dunst and Mila Kunis, but that might have been like, it wasn't a very popular movie. Get Over It.
Oh,
Mm.
Seen it.
yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And he was in the one we did a couple weeks ago. It would have came out before this, but he was just like a supporting role in it.
Yeah, it wasn't a very big role at
He was
all.
also in Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
Like one of the last episodes of Band of Brothers.
Nice.
he was.
I love John Lithgow's wife and how she's obviously having an affair with the pool boy, but he's like completely clueless.
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
Judd.
Great.
That's Judd Apatow's.
Yes.
Oh, is it Leslie
Yeah.
Mann?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leslie Mann's in it.
Nice.
Yeah, she's always like, yeah, your father, he's getting so fat.
Yeah.
And then when you see him, he's like
Like
pretty
just a
much
normal
size. Yeah.
John Lithgow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So do you guys think the movie is going to hold up?
I definitely think it will. I think it'll be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think much has really changed in Orange County since the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, there might be some offensive stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it'll hold up.
I think there'll be some offensive stuff and like some dated technology, but I still think like the movie itself is going to be funny and I'm going to laugh my butt off and it'll hold up.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think for the same reasons that it's not gonna be too dated. I don't think.
No.
I think it'll be a shoe-in.
That's amazing.
Now
We're already
it's-
quoting the movie.
Now it's your part.
Oh, okay. Yay, it's my part. So, if you do want to watch this movie, it is on Amazon Prime Video if you
Oh.
have the subscription. So, you can definitely watch it on there, or you can rent it like a chump. So, whatever you want to do. Just, you do you, man.
Just do what I did and steal it from your local video store.
There you go.
Which one?
I'd
Can't
rather
name
not say.
names, he'll get arrested.
But it doesn't exist anymore.
It's the name of two men, Gary and Leo.
It's the grocery store.
Gary and Leo's grocery store. And
Where Ashley rented all of her movies in her youth, pretty much.
And
Until
Brandon stole all of his movies from
Until
his
they
youth.
came out with a video store that was in the gas station, remember? That place is huge.
Yeah, it was
It had
huge.
everything.
Did you guys have a Blockbuster?
No, not in
No.
Florence.
Well, I mean, like in Missoula, did they have a Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one.
Oh.
And
I just
Hastings
remember, like, there was always
Crazy Works.
Hastings, which was like a Blockbuster on steroids.
It was a Blockbuster, but it was 3 times as expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, the Blockbuster here never had the movie you wanted.
Oh, jeez.
It was only one, like there was only one Blockbuster, so everything was sold out all the time.
Yeah.
This conversation's a dated reference.
Oh, boy. Okay.
All right, well,
We're going to go ahead and
Did we
hit
hear of a Radio
the
Shack?
pause pause
Hit the posse box.
and go watch the movie,
yes,
come back, and talk about the movie.
that's what we do. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and we're back. We just finished watching Orange County. I don't know. I almost said Orange is the New
I
Black.
was going to say.
Yeah, I was like, Orange is the New Black. But first thing we're going to do is get out our super tiny cell phone, pull out the skinny antenna, call Stanford, and try to get our kid in. Talk about some technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the thing that happened.
What pieces of technology did you guys notice?
Anybody?
I noticed that the older computer that he was using had a floppy disk drive.
Oh, yeah, the one where he was
Interesting.
typing. Oops.
Where he was
Typing
typing
the-
his story.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
That's
Brandon?
a good one.
Their massive flat screen TV,
Yeah.
but it was a tube TV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
So like it was like a 55-inch tube TV.
jeez.
Those things were at least 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, there was a Super Nintendo, which I saw. I was
Oh, I
very
didn't notice
nice.
that.
notice
Not a Nintendo 64 or GameCube.
Interesting.
Super Nintendo.
The first thing I noticed was not something I saw, but Sean's mom was yelling at the maid, and she's like, "You stole my Palm Pilot!" and I'm like, "Who?" Nobody obviously uses those anymore, but I remember when those were a thing for a while.
They were a thing.
You weren't cool unless you had a Palm Pilot,
Yeah, they were like the coolest thing since sliced bread then.
pretty much.
Well, and you had like, I noticed it was a corded phone,
Mm-hmm.
but then they also had cell phones.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, they had a landline
And
in their
beepers.
house still too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had
Which is
like
funny.
a cordless phone, but then they also had a corded phone on the
Yeah.
wall, and then they also had a beeper,
It's a large house.
and they had a cell phone.
Yeah.
They're more accessible that way, and even social media. It seemed like you could just annoy the crap out of somebody by beeping them and just calling their house and then
Yeah.
pulling their cell phone.
like I can't get away from these people. It was probably like in that time where all those were still acceptable forms of communication.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just went to cell phones.
Yeah.
I don't call my landline. We don't even have a landline.
I noticed the guidance counselor had a blue iMac, like the ones that were huge. and-
Yes.
Yeah.
The I wanted one of those.
See-through?
It was like a
The
color
see-through
ones.
ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like alien.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time right there.
What were we watching the other day where they had one?
It was between two ferns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She had to bring
she
a
carries
computer
it
with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
And
like,
it was that exact one. It
Yeah.
was blue and everything.
That's what it was.
Those things were hideous.
That I noted that one. And I just put down the fact that I don't know if kids these days actually get their acceptance letters in the mail anymore. I think they probably get emails.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
probably
So-
it's more prevalent now for
Yeah.
official things.
Even though in movies it's always,
the letter.
yeah. And if it's a small letter, you know it's a bad
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
I noticed Ashley had a Discman.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
yes.
And it was
Classic.
yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably like that Sony yellow one that everybody wanted to have.
Those were the best. Yeah, the anti-skip.
Mhm.
Yes.
The G-Shock anti-skip. or
Yeah,
whatever
you
the
could
hell
put
it
them
was.
like
Yeah.
With
sideways.
bass boost.
Yeah, yeah, you could carry it sideways and it won't skip. That was
So
strange.
bad.
Hey, I was super excited to get one of those.
I had a
Like,
Walkman, so
I think that might have been the first purchase when I got a job. Was like go buy a nice Discman.
Nice.
It's fancy.
no, it was
So you can
the
take
cheap
on your
ones.
bike with you.
Yeah, and wasn't gonna skip.
If you
Yes.
drop it though,
Yeah.
it's not anti-skip then.
Game
Yeah.
over.
Batteries
Anti-brake.
fly out.
The soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
One of
was
the first songs on there was Social D.
Mm-hmm.
some
For
Cake,
sure.
some Beach Boys,
Some
Offspring.
And then you noted pretty much all West Coast,
Yeah, yeah.
which I
it
guess
was-
fits with the theme
well,
of the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
that. It was definitely letting you know that it was Southern California and that the ocean was right next to them.
In
Like,
case you were confused about
Yeah.
the title of the movie, we want you to know this is Southern California.
And my favorite part was just the cheerleaders doing the dance to Butterfly. That really dated it.
crazy town.
That really did. Yeah, because
And it
all
just
the
kept
other
coming up.
songs have aged really well for
Yeah.
the most part. But yeah, Butterfly, not so
That's
much.
okay. That whole dance thing, that was definitely our era. of,
Yeah.
Like,
Awful.
They knew how to
so
ruin
many.
a song.
no, apparently we just like to do a lot of dancing, line dancing, and
Yeah.
Macarena, and oh man,
No.
every band had like some sort of dance at that time.
That's true.
Backstreet Boys
I think
and
it was
Sync
almost like
and-
a guarantee to be a hit if you could attach some sort of dance.
Oh yeah,
Or
Oh,
like
yeah.
a way to involve the listeners, I guess. Do you guys want to move on, or do you have any other in this category? Brandon?
I noticed they were listening to Foo Fighters when they were driving in the Bronco.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The green Bronco.
I noticed that in the movie they must have figured out emails by the end of the
You're
movie.
so...
It just drives me nuts because like at the beginning of the movie he's like, oh, I have to send everything in the mail.
Well,
like
when you're
this manila
sending like
folder.
an
and-
official
It wasn't official.
like
It was just
manuscript, like
his-
his book, though.
It was just a printout of a book that he did on a computer when he could
But
have.
that's something you would want to
emailed
send a
that.
hard copy to because I don't know. I guess you just feel more like they're gonna read it than an email. Because an email, they're just gonna be like, junk.
That's true.
It's a good point. But then at the end he goes ahead and sends an email to him. A
Yeah,
thank
because
you
he's
letter.
just talking to him. He's not like
Because they're
Yeah.
friends now. They
Yeah,
bonded.
they're BFFs.
Besides a whole book as an email would be a lot.
Of course,
Yeah.
if email was the thing, then this movie would not be a movie.
That's when
That's true. We'll
Computers
talk
have,
about
like,
the
a-
plot in a little bit.
had like a 20 gigabyte hard drive. If you send someone a book, it's gonna instantly fill up their whole
Right?
computer. Like, well, I got no more memory.
It's gotta go buy JavaScript and all sorts of crap just to read it.
Do you want to move on?
Yes.
Okay. The next category is called, kids would call it a throwback. We call it the prime of our teens, where we talk about fashion, offensive jokes, or dated references. Did you notice any fashion, guys?
Cargo shorts and pants
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
were really oversized
Yeah,
cargos.
really
Like
baggy.
their pants were huge.
Nobody
noticed-
had sleeves.
Right?
That,
Especially the
Cross
surfers,
sleeves.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it was like nobody had sleeves or they had too much sleeve. It's like, how are you wearing a tank top, but then that dude over there is wearing a long sleeve with another shirt buttoned over it and another shirt underneath it?
Layers were really popular in the early 2000s.
They were.
Especially with the polos and then a sweater.
Yeah. The one I noticed was Ashley, because she was wearing like a Hawaiian skirt.
Oh, okay.
She was wearing thick-soled flip-flops
Yes, the
that were like,
platform
Oh, yeah.
And then she had a puka shell bracelet on.
I did notice the puka
And
shell
necklace,
necklaces
too.
She
too.
had the necklace.
And a couple
too.
of the extras in their high school also had them.
Nice.
Yeah, I noticed the shoes on a few girls.
All the kids
Which
had.
I always felt like I was going to die in those.
All the
like
kids had
twist
Dragon
ankle.
Ball Z hair.
Yeah. Everybody
Super
with the Dragon Ball.
flame on hair, you know, just
I just don't know why we thought that was a good idea. And it was probably, they were probably really crunchy too. The hair gel was
Yeah.
probably just...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was supposed to be like bedhead.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't really try, but I did try.
I just got done serving.
Yeah, like I woke up like this,
But
you know?
it realistically took me 45
Yeah,
minutes to
I had
get
to,
it
like,
just right.
twist the tips of my hair so often and frost my
Get that
tips.
texture.
And, yeah.
How about offensive jokes or dated references?
I didn't notice a whole lot of offensive jokes. Really.
I was surprised there wasn't.
Yeah, OC kept it PC, pretty much.
The only thing like dated reference, which we already kind of mentioned, was the Ford Bronco, which was a very older looking one. And then the one girl claiming she was Britney Spears' cousin.
Yeah.
But Britney Spears is still really relevant.
At
Yeah.
that time, yes.
Yeah.
But they used the music that they used when she said Britney Spears was her first hit,
Yeah.
so that kind of
Yeah.
dated
Yeah.
it in a way.
Especially at this point, she had already had multiple hit songs,
Yeah.
so they could have went with a different one.
Lance and Bob were watching SpongeBob on the TV,
Yeah.
so at that time it was still on the air.
Yeah. It was
Oh.
still pretty new.
Is it
It's-
not on
you
anymore?
can still see it.
Oh.
It's streaming. I mean,
Streaming.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just not.
it's just
Being
not.
made.
Yeah, back then they were watching.
Yeah.
We didn't have streaming stuff at this
No,
point, so you know,
no.
it's just like, we're watching this.
Try and
live.
explain that to a little kid. Like back in my day, we had to wait a whole week
Yeah. for a
before we
new-
knew what was going to happen to
Watch
SpongeBob
the
or whatever. You know.
commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
We gotta watch commercials.
I got You Stole My Palm Pilot was both dated and offensive
Yes.
because she was
Accusing her
That's true.
maid. That's true.
The house was pretty dated,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
with that light wood paneling.
And the brass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the talk to the hand.
Oh.
He was talking about his shirt that he wants to make, like talk to the hand. And then when she's like, "You have my pager number," when she's driving away, the stepmom.
Oh,
And she's like, "Yeah, you have my pager number," and then she drives away in her
that's true.
Maserati
She
or
did
whatever
say that.
She's wearing or driving.
One of the ones that I kind of noticed, and it's just, well, that's how the architecture was, but the school was ultra modern.
Yeah.
And
It was.
real concrete look of it, which that's not I don't think a very popular style of architecture anymore, but at
It was
that
back
point
then.
you could tell, that was
Real prison style almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly, but it's like now, like, they're not building shit like that anymore.
No. The only the one line I did find slightly offensive was when Sean, which is Colin Hanks' character, goes to tell his dad that he wants to be a writer because he's trying to get money from him so he could go to Stanford, which is just the whole thing. But his dad's like, all writers are gay.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah. I
missed that
that's,
too.
that's pretty offensive.
And I was like, okay.
at the very end of the movie, because I was the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, this movie isn't very offensive. I didn't really catch anything.
No.
And then at the end, when his friend's like, "Yeah, he's such a total fruitcake," like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, that is like the least offensive of the offensive things you could say. But
It really
It's
is.
still,
Yeah.
But they did have that whole plot line between those two where they were like
Are they? or aren't
insinuating that they're gay.
And
Which-
they had
I guess, like, nowadays it's like, yeah, what if they are? Who cares? But then it was just like, it's funny because are they? Who knows?
at the
What's
same
going
time,
on?
they had that threesome with.
being a high school kid, like being a high school male,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff you would say about your friend,
right.
or you would be like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that."
Especially,
naked, and then just walk away like, wait, what did you just say? Like, so it was
that's
kind of,
true.
I mean, it was there, but it wasn't at the same time, because it's just kind of the way it was
Yeah.
back in the day, but
I also put that Sean's dad says to his mom, do you have any beer, Coyote Ugly?
Yeah.
Which was funny, but also kind of a dated reference because
very dated reference.
that movie is super old too.
But they still have the Coyote Ugly in New York,
Yeah,
and
but-
Las Vegas.
Is there
I
a
don't
lot
know
of people
how it's
going
still
into
there.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know
not a
how
lot
it's
of-
still there.
Whenever we
but
walk
it
by,
is.
there's always like 5 dudes in there. Just,
Yeah, just waiting around for the girls. Like,
Waiting for a
where are
girl
these
to
Coyote
show up.
Ugly girls?
And they're always, when you walk by, they're like, "You're a girl? Free entry. Come on over. Free entry. We'll let you
Come
for
in.
free."
Come in.
You're like, I'm good.
You're like, no.
No, I'm good, bro. Did you guys have any other dated references? Offensive jokes?
I wouldn't say it was really dated or offensive necessarily, but when the little boy is acting up, Leslie Mann tells the maid to give him some Ritalin.
Yeah.
Like, he's
It's
like
more,
3.
it's more of like a social
Get us
commentary
some
right there.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
And it's also just showing that some of the richer people don't really care for their kids. They're just like, I don't want to deal with you.
Get out of my face. Stop being annoying. Stop acting like a child.
yeah.
Medication
When-
to stop acting like a child.
When John Lithgow's like, I need you to calm down.
Yeah.
Like he's an hysterical, teenager or like adult.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's a child.
He's going to do
He's
that.
3 years old. Yeah. Please calm down. It doesn't work. Trust me, it doesn't work.
You guys know better than we do.
Very
Do you want to move on to the next category?
Yes. It's a little category we like to call Well, Hello There, where we talk about any cameos or famous or recognizable actors or actresses that we forgot were in the movie. And there was a ton.
Yeah.
I love movies like this.
Yes.
We did mention a couple of them, but I forgot. The first one I noticed was Kyle Howard, who is Arlo, one of the surfer friends. He was in... What was he in? Why can't I think?
When we were kids, he was in House Arrest with
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
He was like the main character.
Yeah.
And then he was
We always watch Holiday in Handcuffs every year.
with Melissa Joan Hart. It's
Melissa Joan Hart and
he plays
Mario
her brother.
Lopez. Yeah.
And then he was in My Boys, I think is what it was called. It was on like on TNT.
Oh, yeah, with
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who did you notice?
Oh, it was like Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a big one I forgot.
Lily
He was only in one scene, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those cameos. Like,
Yeah.
Principal Harpert.
What was his name?
Chevy Chase's character, yeah.
How about you, Brian?
Lily Tomlin.
The girl from Undeclared, Monica
Keena?
Keena?
Yeah,
Noticed her
she's...
right away, which I had forgot she was in that.
Yeah, and then with her was Lizzie Kaplan,
Mm-hmm.
who's from Mean Girls and Party Down and a bunch of other things.
Masters of Sex.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's a show
I
that
noticed.
she is in.
I noticed Brett Harrison. He
Yes.
plays their friend Lonnie, the one that actually dies.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on Reaper
Yes.
when we were.
Did you ever
about
watch
10
Reaper?
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was on also on Breaking In with Christian Slater.
Yeah, but fun fact, he also guest starred on The O.C., so
Oh,
he's known for doing
interesting.
Orange County and The
I
O.C.
wonder if he's from Orange County.
Oh.
I think he might be because I want to say he was like best friends with Adam Brody, and they're both from Southern California, and just know
Who
him in my
did you
head.
notice, Ashley?
You kind of started mentioning her, but Lily Tomlin played his really shitty guidance counselor, and she's in Grace and Frankie now. Of
Yeah.
course, if you don't know who Lily Tomlin is, I don't know what to tell you.
No shit.
And who else?
Harold Ramis
Yeah.
Yes.
was in it.
He played the Dean of Admissions.
Did a really great job.
Yeah.
He always reminds me of Ben Stein.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except
see
with
that.
like, a soul or something. I don't know. He's got like
A little more character.
personality.
Yeah.
There we go. He's a personality.
Nate Faxon, the guy that played Kip at the party.
Yeah. He was wearing a turtleneck.
Ugh, Kip.
That was rough. That was a very contradictory. It's like, what's the weather like there?
Yeah.
Somebody's wearing no shirt and someone's walking around with their pants off.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Stanford is 6 hours away. I looked it up because they kept talking about how he was going so far away, and I'm like, it's still in California.
Mm-hmm.
They're acting like he's moving to,
Like across
England.
The country, yeah.
but 6 hours is still pretty
6
far.
hours is pretty far in California.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Where I'm from, it's not really that far.
No.
You get into the next big city, but I also, he was in Ben Stiller. I noticed Ben Stiller was in it.
Yes, Ben Stiller had a cameo as the fireman towards the end of the movie, I guess. And then Gary Marshall
Yeah.
played the guy.
Played Tanya's grandpa.
Yeah, Arthur.
Okay.
His name is Arthur Ganter. And then his wife was played by
Dana
Dana
Ivey,
Ivey, who
yeah.
was in Addams Family.
Yep,
She marries
okay.
It.
Yep.
if
And
you don't
she
remember
worked
her.
the front desk
At Home Alone 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was one of the...
Kind of looks like Professor, what's her face from Harry Potter, too.
She does look like Professor McGonagall. Maggie
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can see it. Who else? We mentioned Leslie Mann, but her character is basically like what she plays in everything.
In every movie.
That kind of bitchy blonde person.
The one mom from Home Alone, right?
Yeah, Catherine
Oh.
O'Hara.
Yeah.
Her.
From
Plays-
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
she's
Plays Sean's mom.
amazing.
Yeah, she's always hilarious.
Delightful.
I'm trying to think.
She's
I
so
think.
very overdramatic. I love it. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
There was Kevin Kline.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
the last one I had. Was Kevin Kline played Marcus Skinner, who was Sean's idol, or made him want to become a writer or whatever.
The only other one I had was Mike White,
Uh-huh.
who he plays the clueless English teacher
The
who's
illiterate.
like, there's a lot of good movies about Shakespeare, but he also wrote the movie
Yeah.
Orange County.
Did he write School of Rock too?
That's a good question.
Because he's in School of Rock. He plays his roommate.
His friend.
He did write School of Rock.
Okay, so the next category is called Is It Even Good? Where we talk about the plot, the casting choices, and we name our funniest and cringiest moments of the line or movie. Whatever. I don't know how to talk. Hi. What did you guys think of the plot?
I thought it was okay. I think it's believable that a school could screw up and miscalculate somebody's transcript and accidentally accept the wrong person. I think it's believable.
But is it believable that it would be his responsibility to fix it?
No.
No,
But I think
there
it's
would've been-
believable. I'm sorry. I think it's believable that Lily Tomlins would try and backpedal as fast as she could and be like, oh, I don't know what happened. That's weird.
Yeah.
Like, to save her job.
And I do feel like if you work in a big school, that you probably really don't know the students that well. Or maybe your
Oh.
guidance counselor was a dick,
That's very true.
like ours.
Well, like, Dad graduated with 700 kids
Mm-hmm.
just in his senior class. So
Yeah.
you can't tell me the guidance counselor would know
Yeah.
every single kid's name.
And in
Our
their
experience.
defense, the names were similar.
Yeah.
Sean Brumder
To
and
be
Shane
fair.
Brainerd.
They were very
Bram
similar.
named her.
Who named these people? Yeah, no, I felt like that could have been plausible, but the fact that it was all on him to try to fix it was like, no, I feel like he could have had a lawsuit, if anything, on his hands to sue the school for screwing up his
Life.
potentially, yeah,
Yeah.
potentially, yes.
Because also the guidance counselor told him, you only need to apply to this one school. You're a shoo-in. You don't need a backup school. So when it goes south, he has no backup plan.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But also the other guy, like, to me, it feels like it would be the same thing as if someone deposited your, like, paycheck, like the bank deposited your paycheck into someone else's account,
Uh-huh.
and then they spent all the money. Like, if they spend that money, they're responsible for that. So, like, wouldn't they just, if he explained it to Stanford, wouldn't they just be like, oh, I'm sorry, that letter goes to you, and you get this letter?
Right. That's more realistic.
I mean, are they just
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, yeah, we made a mistake, but
But
now
that's
this
what
thing's go to Stanford? Like,
That's what it seems like, too, because when he gets a hold of the Dean of Admissions, like, there's nothing I can do. We printed that list.
Right. Well, and he had missed the deadline, which was the biggest thing.
yeah, but
Yeah.
the circumstances, I feel like, would be something that, if it happened before, the school would be able to do, like, oh, well, let's add another couple people. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's fraud anyway, on the part of
The school or,
Oh, no,
or the
no.
other student.
the other student. That would be considered a fraudulent thing to put someone else's transcripts as your own.
That's correct.
I mean, it's not on that kid, obviously. It's on the counselor.
guidance, yeah.
Yeah. So, yet again, well, she backpedaled and ended up, kneeing him in the groin.
I feel like he could have waited a couple days and then fixed it with an email or a phone call.
He was so
Frantic
antsy.
about it.
Yeah, and over dramatic in some cases.
But that also gives you the feeling of being a high schooler.
Yeah.
That's true.
And now every single thing needs to be fixed right then and there.
It's life or death.
And it's life or death. So,
That's very true.
but I feel like, yeah, I have written in here, like, yes, they could get away with this movie in 2019, except it would be a lot shorter movie because of emails.
Yeah.
Instead
Like-
of driving up, they'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
You then you wouldn't need Jack Black to be comedic relief, and
And the way that they promote the pager, the Palm Pilot.
Yeah.
I mean, they promote every form of communication in this movie.
But yet he doesn't
Yet
use
he
it.
has to drive down there. I salute his brashness for doing that, because I feel like that is feasible. Like, if someone screwed up, a kid could get to the point where he's so desperate, he might want to drive down there
Yeah.
and see the dean.
But it's also like, what's the rush? Because he's still in high school. He still has to graduate. So going to Stanford that night probably wouldn't have made a difference. But it makes for a movie, I guess.
But it's also totally a 18 or 17-year-old idea.
Yeah,
it's for
like,
his
oh, we gotta go
personal-
right now.
Yeah, and if he's not at his office, let's go to his house.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
And
creepy
interrupt
at all.
his
yeah,
life.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm more important.
Give him ecstasy.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the casting choices?
I liked them. I think Colin Hanks looks pretty young and nerdy, and the guys they gave the spiky hair to really come across as surfers.
Yeah.
I think I like more of like the outside parents, outside people. Like the parents were really well cast. John Lithgow and Catherine O'Hara.
For sure. I liked him too.
Jack Black was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's just being
He
Jack
is.
Black, I guess.
Yeah.
That's it. We're making all the noises here.
And I really liked the girlfriend, Skylar Fisk.
She
Yeah.
did a good job of being that kind of Southern California.
She was there.
She was there.
She was good. She just, like, it's
Super
hard.
supportive of him. Like,
Yeah, I know. No,
Yeah.
she was like a great girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, to be surrounded by those kind of caliber actors
I don't
Yeah.
and
know.
actresses, it's kind of, as far as that goes, like,
Yeah, that's true.
outshine those guys.
She was sufficient, I guess, would be a good way of putting it.
She was
She
useful.
wasn't
She made
bad.
the plot move on.
She was adequate.
What was your funniest moment, Brandon?
I'd probably have to say when Jack Black says, "Do you want to get me want me to get naked and start a revolution?" Like, just because it was so random. Like, he's in that building, and you figure he's gonna try and like weasel
Steal
his
it.
way out of it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and instead he like tries to do this like sexy like "what's up" like type of thing
And
and
he,
seduce her.
I don't think Jack Black's a bad guy, but bad looking guy, but his character is so drugged
Is
out
supposed to be garbage.
and just
Can't
dirty
do
and
that
sweaty.
He's
and-
wearing a cut off sweatshirt.
repulsive in that movie, yeah.
And it's not even, it's a Hanes. He's wearing a Hanes suit. And he's still,
And he's like in tidy whities half
yeah,
the movie.
oh.
yeah.
Half the movie.
And he's just, she's like, "You want me to call security?" And he's like, "Do you want me to get naked and start the revolution?" And he's like, "There's a maybe." I was like, huh.
It's slightly creepy, but apparently it worked. What about you, Brandy?
John Lithgow is hilarious, and I just love when he looks out the window and he sees Leslie Mann flirting with the pool boy, and he's just like, "What the
Time out. It's a pool man, for one.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
He has no hair on the top of his head. He's clearly has a wife and 4 kids or something, like, he's been doing this job for a long time.
He's a pool man. What about you, Ray?
My favorite part was Sean is complaining to his mom how she was never there for him, and she was like, "I married Bob for you. I had sex with him 4 times
for you."
for you." And it just cracked me up.
Mine was Lily Tomlin saying, "And you're a student here?" to Sean, who just had a conversation with her about how he was a shoo-in
Yeah.
of going to Stanford. And she was just like, "And you're a student here?"
She just got done reading his
Story.
letter from Stanford
Yeah.
saying that he didn't get into Stanford. And then she's like, "And you're a student here?"
Yeah.
Like,
And just
no,
her.
I'm just a random person coming in to be like, "Here is this letter I got."
It was amazing.
I was going to say, I feel like it was a lot more physical comedy. Jack Black had a lot more physical, and there was a lot more just things that made me giggle that wasn't necessarily words.
Like the little things, like when he jumps in the pool and he kicks his
laser
legs.
flailing.
Yeah.
He jumps like a foot and kicks his legs to get into the pool.
He's such an
Jumps over
agile man.
the guardrail, and
Yeah.
half of his butt crack is showing. He is very agile for his
And then
Shape.
portly shape.
Yeah.
The fact that he was it the part where like Bob just like rolling down, smacking the car,
Mm-hmm.
as you know, Colin Hanks is trying to plead with the guy, like, we love Bob, like, I love him, we treat him with respect, and he's like, blam.
With Gary Marshall's character.
Yeah. Like, oh.
And his head's already bleeding from a former.
And they're like, you're
headlock.
abusing him. What about, we'll go to Brandon first, your cringiest moment? Was there any points where you're just like, ugh? Or if it was meant to be, like, cringy, you know?
I felt like when Leslie Mann was hitting on Colin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, groping his arms and his chest and stuff, I was like, oh.
And she's like, oh, are you
like
you're
17.
filling out?
Yeah,
You're filling out.
you
You've been
really
working
filled
out.
out. Oh.
That was pretty cringy.
Or the mom talking about the couple. Then she was talking to the
Older couple,
yeah,
like
the older
Gary
couple,
Marshall.
Yeah, Gary Marshall. And she starts going into, like, first she does that whole, like, nah, forget about it. I'm not going to talk about it. But then she's like, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Like, so she, like, decides right there. And then she starts talking about how he was cheating on her and all this. And, like, that to me is so much more cringy than, like, any, like, just disgusting scene. It's because it's, like, real. It's like that curl up into a ball because it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, because you know there's people that have parents that are oversharers or people that don't know how to shut up when they should.
And you can just see it on Sean's face.
It's like, this is not the time. That was funny. How about you, Randy?
I think Kip, the guy at the frat party, just in general, just Kip in general.
His whole vibe.
He's totally douchey.
Yeah.
Even when he found out she was in high school, he's like, still going for it. Like, it didn't matter.
Well, it was like, but that was also kind of the casting too. He was like going only casting problem because I felt like he
looked older.
He looked like he was in his 30s when he really should have looked maybe
21.
Yeah, if that, you know. So I was kind of like, why are you at this party, man?
Maybe he was just a non-traditional student.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still,
And
I'm
agreed.
30 just hanging out at a frat party. What about you, Ray?
When Sean runs upstairs to get Bob's drugs from Lance, and Jack Black does a cartwheel over the bed to go about 1 foot, maybe. But he did it. It was funny, but it was also like, you saw a lot of Jack Black.
I'm just glad he was wearing underwear.
Mine was just when they accidentally drug the dean of admissions. They're taking him in the car, and he tries to kiss Ashley.
That was
Because-
one of mine too.
He's on E, but it was just funny because he's just like, I'm just start making out with you, and then he does fully kiss Sean, which was funny. But it was funny, but it was still like kind of cringy because she's just like, like get away from me. There wasn't a lot of stuff that was like offensive or cringy.
No.
Did you guys have any like additional notes or anything else you wanted to address about this movie?
I want to know if that dog was really supposed to snap at Ashley and,
Yeah.
like, attack her face.
Yeah,
For sure, that scene was.
padded.
I don't know if it was meant to bite her
How
and
did
it was
they get a
trained.
dog to, I don't know.
She
Dog
got really
actors.
in that dog's face.
Yeah.
Like, because I've been that
She
close
was,
to a
like,
dog's
kissing his
face,
face.
and little
Rupert.
dogs don't like that, man. So they'll snap you.
Rupert does that to me all the time when I'm not being a very good podcast host.
Yeah.
Cause
It's just giving you direction.
Producer
Yeah.
Rupert.
producer Rupert.
I felt that, and then the can. I want to know if when he threw the can at Sean, Jack Black, when he threw it, he hit him, and he had a welt, and then he also had a cut on his forehead, and it looked like a legit cut. It didn't actually look
Like a fake one.
like a fake one.
I do wonder if you found that underneath like IMDb trivia or something, they would have it like, he really cut his face open.
I bet if you probably just Googled it and just typed exactly that in, it would probably be already
Somebody's
in there.
already
Yeah, someone's already
asked
hit
that
up, yeah.
question to Google. The only other thing, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, was I was getting angry at how many people were like, you're going to run away. You're going to be so far away. Because his mom guilts him about it, which is totally a mom thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up, and it was like 6.5 hours away from Orange County to Stanford. So, but I was just like, it's not that far.
No, they all act like he's leaving the country or something.
Yeah, like
And
he's
really,
not going
he
to
could
New
come
York.
home for like weekends and holidays.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for a relationship, I can totally
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah, maybe Ashley being upset about it
Yeah,
is legitimate, and maybe his friends even. 6 hours is a long way.
but also if
But
your
parents
friend gets
and-
into Stanford or your son
Yeah.
gets into Stanford, you should be pretty excited about that. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, but
Plus, for a high school relationship like that, I feel like you are prepared to break up when that time
Yeah,
comes, because
if you're being
people do move
realistic
away for
about it.
college.
Well, was that the first time that he said "I love you" to her?
I think so.
That's what I gathered from
Because then
him.
that relationship really wasn't. I mean,
They've been dating the whole time because a year had passed since the beginning of the movie when his friend dies, and they were dating the whole time. So, first of all, that's kind of a slow...
yeah.
I mean, kids probably say I love you way too fast because they're just thinking with their downstairs brains. Downstairs brains.
Downstairs. That's the kind of downstairs, too. You gotta
have to
stare down, right?
Gross. What are you looking at?
I was trying to find some of that pieces of trivia we were talking about, but I don't see it.
Oh. Maybe...
Well, if it's not, and if it was rehearsed, then kudos.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Did you have any additional things, or did you want to go to our award season?
I'm ready to move on to award season. Each week we give out 2 awards, the first of which is the valedictorian to the Nicolas Cage Online School of Bad Acting. Who did you give your award to?
Brandon can go first.
Kind of... I don't know. I didn't really feel like anyone overacted
Right.
for their parts. Obviously, the mom would be the most Nicolas Cage-ish with the screaming and the melodramatics, but I feel like the girlfriend, maybe, she had the least amount of range.
I can see that, yeah.
They kind of gave her the least amount of range, too.
Skylar Fisk,
Yeah.
who is actually a previous award winner.
Yeah, she won the Best Actor award for Babysitter's Club.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was
Ashley
in that.
gave it to her.
Yeah,
I
she's
gave it to Jimmy Tony, the imaginary friend of one of the kids.
Yeah, she was Chrissy, who was
Okay,
like the main
okay.
character. She was the tomboy, ran the club.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I get that because she was kind of one-dimensional. She was just kind of there to like psych up Colin Hanks in a way, which I think is how a lot of female characters were written for the longest time, were just like to make the male character feel better about themselves.
So, we might have to go back and watch the DVD with the commentary, because I googled about the dog bite, and it says that somebody said that it says something in there about the dog it wasn't planned that the dog bites her face.
It did look like she was scared a little bit, but then
Yeah,
she like
surprised
recovered
her.
and was
Yeah.
like, I'm
Which is
happy about
great
this.
acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
But that poor dog had to be
But like I said,
stressed out.
Chevy Chase, you have a Hanks, you have all these
Other people.
other really,
Hitting stuff.
yeah, good stuff. She did.
Oh. I thought it was you because you're talking with your hands, which I do all the time, by the way.
I really don't think anyone was bad.
No, this is one of the few movies where I had a hard time to choose somebody
Yeah.
because everybody was pretty good. Did you not have one, really?
I gave it to Chevy Chase because I
Yeah.
thought he was almost an afterthought. He's barely in the movie. He does none of the usual Chevy Chase
Yeah.
stick. He's just...
Other than him kind of creeping out when he's like, Britney Spears. That,
Yeah.
to me, that's like a
just thought-
Clark Griswold type thing.
I would imagine they had to pay him a lot of money to be in this movie, and I don't think you got any value from it.
Well, I think he was supposed to be like purposely uninterested
Yeah.
in what the kids had to say, and
Because that's another
what
thing of
Ashley
his
wanted to do.
characters is he's kind of sarcastic and kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
kind of.
But I don't even think that we really got that from him.
I mean, he probably phoned it in. He's Chevy Chase. He's just like, meh, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's all I can
Yeah.
give you.
I feel like a little bit when he kind of just brushes away Colin Hanks'
Yeah,
idea.
Toni Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, didn't you say that you were cousins with Britney Spears? You know, like, he's like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Your suggestion is crap. Let's get Britney Spears.
But I agree with you on the whole one-dimensional. I think that the girlfriend was so one-dimensional that she was not going to be able to get like the recognition.
That's true. I gave mine to Chad, which was one of the surfer guys. He was the blonde one because I feel like the only reason they had 2 was so they could make some small gay jokes. Other than that, they were basically the same character.
Yeah.
And I felt like Kyle Howard had funnier lines and added something a little more. The other one was kind of just unnecessary, just kind of there. So I just gave it to him. His name's RJ Kroll. He doesn't really act. I think he might be a skateboarder, though, so don't quote me on that.
Too late. Quoted her. She's been quoted.
So now we'll move on to the more prestigious award, some would say. the Thomas J. Hanks Award for Exceptional Acting. Did you give it to a Hanks? Is my question, though. Who'd you give yours to?
I'm going to say I gave it to a Hanks.
Oh.
Are you?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give it to JB.
No, I thought Colin did a great job. He hit all the different ranges, and I feel like I almost felt like the genuine frustration with him just like trying to better himself, and it seems like this family is doing nothing but
trying to bring him down.
Bring him down, and with his mom it seems deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And with his brother it just seems like that's just his brother and that's going to happen. But yeah, he just keeps getting kicked over and over again. And I just like I don't know, I really like his dad. So to see him act, he has a lot of his dad's range of emotions and stuff and facial expressions. So it was kind of cool because it was like picturing, like watching Big almost. Yeah. Where you're like, oh my God, look how young he is, or bosom buddies or something,
Mm-hmm. For sure. He's a very likable actor. What about you, Brandy?
I would have to agree with Brandon. He showed more of a range of emotion than any other character. Like you take the mom, the dad, even Jack Black, and they all kind of play the same character in each movie. That's kind of just what you think they are in real life. So I just feel like, Colin Hanks did a great job, especially for one of his first major roles.
Go ahead.
I gave it to JB.
I figured you would.
Because just a physical comedy. I loved the cartwheel, him jumping in the pool, when they're trying to get Ashley in the car so they can leave Stanford and drive back, and he's physically hiding from the cops in the window.
He's hitting the door.
Yeah, it's like classic Jack Black, and that's the time period where I fell in love with him, and I just thought he was the funniest actor.
For sure. He brings the most comedy to the movie. Mm-hmm. But I gave mine to Catherine O'Hara because I think every scene she was in, she was hilarious, and she made me laugh, and she was so dramatic, and even when she was talking about how she was a bad mom, and just that guilt trip, I was just thinking of, experiences with our parents.
Their moms.
Yeah. I mean, I think all moms have that built into them to where they kind of guilt trip you a little bit, whether it's something major or whether it's something really small.
Yeah.
Gets things done.
It does, because you do feel that guilt and you're like, damn it, she's right.
No one can guilt you like a mother.
Yeah, it's very true.
She's got that trump card, man. She carried you around for 9 months, and she had to give labor to you. So
changed your diapers.
You caused her pain
fed you
for 9 months at least.
That's very true.
Very true.
But she does play a very good, wealthy woman who just doesn't know what...
all the time.
Yeah, and doesn't know what real life is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, with that said, do you guys think it held up to your standards as young children, or not children, but teens, older people?
I think it holds up. I also think that it holds up now that, we're parents and stuff too, because it's kind of crazy because you get a second perspective.
Yeah.
So then you get to be more like John Lithgow's character, and
you relate to them.
You relate to them more, and you're like, oh yeah, ooh, that would make me mad, So you get kind of look at that. Plus, it wasn't very offensive at all, and it didn't it dated itself a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also did a good job of kind of pushing past those little data references as just being oh, that was just for fanfare, that was just for a quick laugh, but here's what's going on. They didn't stray a lot from the main plot.
That's true.
No. Yeah.
And they didn't bother with all the driving scenes. There was one really long driving scene, but everything else, it was I gotta go to my dad's house, and then he was at his dad's house.
Yeah.
It's teleporting.
Yeah.
Through California. Hey.
But they did a good job of keeping the driving scene interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Black's
swerving like a psycho.
Totally just high.
Yeah.
And he's driving like a maniac. He's not even looking at the road. He's just talking to his brother, and so it keeps it entertaining the whole time.
I will say for me, and it happens a lot rewatching these movies with kind of a critical eye, I feel like Jack Black's character is not very developed, but he's on the cover. So you would think that he was way more developed, and he's not. He's very just there for comedic relief, and he's almost like a one-note character, but luckily, everything he does is funny, so it works out. But as an adult, I'm like, you should have developed him more and...
given him more of a backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel if they did that, the movie would be more about Jack Black.
That's true.
Because I think Jack Black's a stronger presence
Mm-hmm.
than Colin Hanks was.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
He's more of the straight man and the brooding, like, sad, feel bad for me character.
Kind of
and
whiny.
Jack Black's kind of the, like, over the top, just this insane. But they probably, like, I feel like they probably had to be like, can we kick it down a little bit?
You just tone down
Like,
just a little bit.
you really are overshining the main character.
That's probably true. And there were some deleted scenes, and so maybe they were all like his because they're like, no, there's too much Jack Black in this movie, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like out of all the movies we reviewed, this is one of the few where it's like there wasn't a lot of cringy dated references.
No.
There really wasn't anything offensive in it. Even the clothes, other than some baggy cargos and some thick flip-flops, a lot of this, if you remade this movie today, it would hold up perfectly.
Yeah.
Using the same script and just swap
wouldn't
out some
have
of your technology.
The butterfly dance.
Yeah.
And the girls freaking out about the song,
No,
even
they
in
would just
college.
be doing it to whatever popular song is right now. They'd do it to the Lizzo song, and there you go.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like if you go down to Southern California right now, you're still going to see dudes in cargo shorts with cut-off sleeves that have
Probably,
messed
yeah.
up hair. Like, that's...
Yeah.
I just think of that look as being from there.
That's true.
And the puka shell, I mean, all that stuff is still
But I think-
relevant today.
I think our society was really obsessed with Southern, like OC, Southern California, like
Yeah.
around that time, because then the OC came out, and then The Hills came out, and Laguna Beach. We were just obsessed with rich white kids
And
living in
SNL
California.
SNL started doing the OC.
Yeah.
But
Like
our
Californians.
society's always had that fascination. Like, even when the previous generation was younger, the most popular show is Beverly Hills 90210,
That's true.
and it's that society.
Oh, She's the Man, like...
Yeah, Veronica Mars.
All of those romantic comedies were set in Southern California.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Saved by the Bell, wasn't that? Didn't that
Yeah.
take place?
Yeah.
Bayside.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bayside High.
We've always had an obsession with SoCal.
I will say I really agree with you about the parents, like, even though I'm not a parent, but I did feel like sometimes Colin Hanks was a little whiny. And the fact that he's just like, I'm going to go to my dad and tell him to donate. Just donate. And I'm like, you're so privileged.
Like this rich little entitled kid
Yeah.
that was by his way through life.
Yeah. I mean, I know he got in on his own merits, or he would have gotten in if everything would have went according to plan. But just the fact that he's just like, I just need to get my dad to donate this and it would be good.
Yeah.
Which is kind of relevant to all the stuff that's going on right now with, like, Lori Loughlin buying her kids way into college
Yeah,
and stuff.
buying her way into prison. That's where she's going.
Poor Aunt Becky. So, we all agree then?
Yes, we
Holds
do.
up? So, good
That's a good
job.
one.
I still liked it.
Yeah,
That's great.
Orange County. Still funny.
Hilarious.
Still hilarious.
So as always, we ask that you think about giving us a review and throwing us a subscribe over on the Apple Podcast app or whatever app you're listening to us on.
That's true. If you can do that.
Mm-hmm. And then also check us out on Instagram at Ruining Our Childhood and Facebook.
At Ruining Our Childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And Twitter at ROC Movie Podcast.
Yeah.
If you like Twitter. I go on there sometimes.
Yeah.
I respond to people. Sometimes it's like 5 days later. You don't even know.
I don't know what a Twitter is.
Oh.
Same.
Well, it's confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
I will say out of all the
It's
social
just
media,
a bunch of opinions I don't want to hear.
that's true.
So.
Very true.
Thanks for doing this with us, guys.
Yeah.
You're our
Thanks for
first
having
guest.
us. It was
Thanks for having
great.
us.
It's hot in here, isn't it?
It
Yes,
is.
It's a
it is.
little hot.
Yeah.
But-
So,
Thank you for making us part of your
These
week,
rhinos.
and we'll see you next week.
okay, go bye.
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 Bye.